Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Coloring and Comments, a channel where I color in mandalas and talk to you about various topics that are on my mind. I think recently I messed up my YouTube algorithm. Um, okay, just listen, right? This is what happened. So I've been trying to change my life. I've been trying to stop watching a lot of true crime videos, and I have tried to explore other topics such as entertainment news and so on. And what I usually watch isn't obviously showing on my feed anymore because YouTube thinks I have other interests now. And one of the videos that came up was Blac Chyna. And if you're not familiar with who Blac Chyna is, Blac Chyna came on the scene as a video vixen. She was in, what's his name? Tiger's music video. Yes, in Tiger's music video of Rack City. And we were introduced to a beautiful woman with a full figure. Back then, a lot of people didn't really use the word BBL, but she has openly admitted to having cosmetic surgery to alter the appearance of her body. And I was, so here comes a lot of Blac Chyna videos, and I was wondering, like, why is YouTube telling me to watch Blac Chyna? What do me and Blac Chyna have in common? Okay, because the last time I heard of Blac Chyna was when she was with Rob Kardashian and they had a baby, and people were accusing her of only having the baby because she wanted to be in the family for the money and blah 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 blah. It was a lot of drama. So when I first saw her name, I thought, oh, here we go again. They're just gonna feed me drama, and this is why I watch true crime because, life. But in actuality, what I ended up watching was how she has slowly started gaining back her body. That's the right way of putting it. So she removed her fillers that were in her lips and the fillers that were on her face to get her face back to what it naturally looks like. She had a breast reduction done. She took out most of the fillers that were in her butt as well, so that she can, like I said, be back to her natural form. And she was talking about it, how this came after she was baptized and she realized that there were certain things in her life that she wanted to change, in the sense that she was moving in a different direction. So after seeing the first clip of her, getting all this, I think they call it reverse cosmetic surgery or something like that. After seeing this video of her getting all these things reversed and taken out of her body, I started thinking, oh, okay, I want to know more about her journey, more about what she's doing, why is she doing this. And I found a 1 hour video where she discusses this transformation, where she discusses various topics that a lot of us might be curious of if you think or have heard of Blac Chyna. And I'll make sure I will insert a link of the full video in the description box. But after I watched this video, I picked up 4 major things that I never thought I could learn from Blac Chyna. I know that was me being judgmental, but 4 things that I have learned from watching this particular interview, but has also been reinforced by other new interviews I've seen or watched of Blac Chyna. And the very first thing that I learned was focus on yourself.
Honestly, it wasn't like a specific time or something that happened, like an event or anything like that that made me want to change. I just honestly started to pour into myself, because for years I always poured into everybody else except for myself. You know what I mean? And I always look for validation from people and from things and from materialistic things and looks and hair and nails and all of this. And it was just burying, honestly, really who I was. And now that I'm getting older I'm trying to figure out who's Angela.
A lot of the times we get so distracted with what's happening around us. We are overstimulated because we're constantly seeing images and pictures and videos of other people living a life that we think we want to live. We're constantly consuming news that we don't know how to fully digest. And because we're constantly consuming this, we forget that we are an entity on our own, and that we deserve the same attention that we pay to all that we consume. But not only that, we forget that it's very important to figure out who we are and grow that aspect of who we believe we are. And by failing to do this, failing to focus on ourselves, we start to believe that we are a less than. And we believe that because we haven't really fully explored who we are, what our true values are, and where our passions lie. So the number one lesson is focus on yourself, focus on your personal growth, focus on exploring your interests, focus on eliminating the things that you have been exposed to but don't in any way build you into the person that you not only believe but you know that you are. Because deep down, I am of the belief that we all know who we are, we all know who we should be, we all know how our life should look like. The only thing that is missing is that courage to live in that full expression. And that courage we often lose because we don't focus on us, we focus on others. And as we see the fears of others, it kind of implants fear within ourselves, and therefore we lose sight of what's important, i.e., ourselves. The second thing, which ties on focusing on yourself, is don't let others dictate your life. Don't let other people tell you how you should live.
You know, I want people to know too, and then you too, like, okay, it's Angela White, then it's also Blac Chyna, because I don't want people to get so caught up on this, like, this whole church girl thing. You know what I mean? Like, God, when he chose his people, you know, it was like murderers, like alcoholics, you know, the other, it's just all type. He choose like certain people to like really like lead other people and like share their testimony. And I don't want people to be looking at me like, oh, she can't dress this way, or she can't do this, or she can't do this type of music, or dress this type of way, or go to these type of events, because that's not the case. You know, at the very end of the day, it's the entertainment industry. You know, so you know, of course, I'm gonna like watch certain people and crowds that I be around, but still at the very end of the day, it's still like Blac Chyna, the brand, you know?
Right.
And if people like don't get it, then they just don't get it. And it's just still at the end of the day, it's like my life, and hopefully like I can inspire other people to still do them, but still have some respect for themselves and really get to know God, because it's really your relationship with God, nobody else's.
I feel like this is where the biggest regret for a lot of people stems from. A lot of us regret certain things we didn't do in life or things we did in life because we allowed others to dictate where we should be in life. I think I've shared this on this platform before, but something about me is that one of my biggest regrets is studying accounting. I knew within the first 3 to 6 months of varsity that this was not something that I wanted to do. This is not something that I was passionate about. But because I, didn't focus on myself, and B, allowed outside forces to dictate what I should and shouldn't do, I continued down this path, right? And sometimes you get so far down this path that you don't know what you should do. You don't know if you can turn back. You don't know if you should continue down the road because you're so far down. And you start getting frustrated, you start getting flustered, and you lose yourself within that. And you start seeing yourself as somebody else. Because obviously you're now living a life that's not true to you. You're living a life that's true to others. So in taking into what I said on focus on yourself, I think another thing that's very important when we look at not allowing people to dictate your life is having the courage to change. It's okay. It's okay to be 50 years old and realize, you know what? I actually don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a sculptor. It's okay. Other people around you may not understand, but that's part of realizing who you are. Because the moment you realize who you are and you stand in your true tribe will find you. And that tribe will support you. And that tribe will in no way try to dictate who they think you should be, but will celebrate you in your truest and fullest expression of who you were meant to be on this earth. The third thing that I learned from Blac Chyna, tying into expression, is try every form of creative expression that you can get your hands on. Everything and anything.
I feel like anything that can like show just some type of creativity, I'm down with. Because if you get so caught up in one thing, like you'll go crazy. Like literally, you just got to do everything because something might hit, or if it don't, don't. I don't want to wake up one day and be like, dang, why didn't I like just try to do this or try to do that? Nah, I'm doing any and everything. Like why not at least one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually sounded good. I was like, okay.
So, and I'm a firm believer in this. I'm a firm believer in trying in anything and everything that I can do that will show creative expression, whether I'm good at it or not, because I believe we are creative beings. And there's so many ways of being creative. And I do not mean creative accounting. For all auditors listening, that is against the law. Okay? So with creativity, I mean, why don't you try sketching? Try singing lessons. Try learning to play an instrument. Try cooking. Try baking. Try learning how to ride a bike. All these forms of expression are so important to explore and navigate, no matter how old you are, right? Because you want to get to a point. I was telling my husband today that I want to be able, when I get to Jesus and we speak, I want to be able to say, I tried everything. I tried every single thing that I could get my hands on, and this is what I loved. I might have sucked at it, but I did it and I enjoyed it. And that way, trying every creative form of expression that I can get my hands on, I reinforce who I know I am, right? So that person that I discovered when I was focusing on myself, I reinforce that through creative expression. And reinforcing that through the creative expression, those that value me, those that appreciate me, those that love me will see this expression and support this expression. Therefore, eliminating the people around you that would want to dictate a different form of life that you aren't invested in. And the last thing that I learned from Blac Chyna, which is really important, is protect your peace.
Do you ever just thinking about just calling her or really just trying to like rekindle the relationship? Because you say you haven't talked to her in a while. Like, do it ever cross your mind to it's like, I want to get with my mom. I want her to be a grandma. I want her to be with my kids. I want to do family things because it's like life is short, you know?
Yes.
So is it ever a time where you feel like, let me call her up and rekindle things with my mom? Like, that's my mom at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I texted her not too long ago, and I waited 6 months. And then there was times before then where I had to wait a year. And then even times before that where I had to wait 2 years. So I was like, okay, here's a 6-month mark. Call her, same vibe. All right, cool, block. I'll try back into maybe 3 months. I can't like endure like that type of abuse. It's crazy.
But why do you feel like it's like this? Like,
I don't know. Only thing I could possibly think of is that she's not a part of like the steps that I'm doing in life, maybe. But other than that, I have no idea. I don't know. And then when I try, it's just not good enough. It's just something. So I just can't even like focus on that. Like I gotta focus on my kids and what's going on now. You know what I mean? And once I focus on myself, then everything else will kind of trickle under. Because if something happened to me, nobody can't help me. You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna help my kids. Yeah, they could be there for them, but it's nothing like losing a mother, like
Right.
at all. Like it's
Exactly.
nothing like it. So before I like lose my mental, like my health wise, that's why I even start, that's why I don't drink no more, sobriety, working out in the Bible. Cause I want to have longevity. Like I want to see my grandkids and be running with them and doing all of that type of stuff. But like I'm good.
Blac Chyna has had a very volatile relationship with her mom, Tokyo Tony. And one thing I really respect about Miss Angela White is that she draws a line. She set clear and steady boundaries with herself and her mom. She loves her mom. She's never bashed her mom in public that I know of. But she will say, you know what? I can't go further than this. I love you and I see you, but we cannot coexist in this space because we are not healthy for each other. And a lot of us find it so difficult to create boundaries, not especially boundaries that concern family, because we have been taught that, family is everything. You must always love and forgive family, keep them close. No, if family is toxic, cut them off. No one that is disturbing your peace, no one that's breaking you down, nobody that's making you doubt who you are should be in your life. You have every right to cut off relationships with people that are negative. You have every right to cut off relationships that do not serve you. You are in no way indebted to create spaces for people that do not know how to hold space for you. So it's okay. I think I'm known in the family as someone that's just like, ugh, as in I will just walk away from people that are allegedly family members if I don't like them or if I feel very uncomfortable around them. And I've done that due to past traumas that I've experienced with family members. And I realize I can't re-traumatize myself every time or every family event simply because we're family and we're supposed to be in the same space. Nah, fam, cut them off. Draw boundaries. Draw fixed lines. Put up those fences. Put up those walls when it comes to protecting your peace. It is so important. You know, protecting your peace and having solid boundaries kind of reinforces all the other three things that we learned from Miss Angela White. It reinforces being able to focus on yourself because you cut out people that would want to distract you from who you are. It allows you to not be surrounded by people that wish to dictate and force you into certain ways of living. And it also creates room for you to find different forms of expression that bring you joy and bring you peace. So yeah, these are the 4 things that I learned from Miss Angela Blac Chyna White. I don't know, I love calling her Miss Angela. It just sounds very southern. I just love it. So it was very interesting listening to the interview, and I do encourage everyone to please check out the full interview down in the description box and let me know what you think. What other lessons did you learn from watching Blac Chyna's interview? What have you taken away and want to incorporate into your everyday living? Or are there things that you didn't really agree with that you feel like, nah, actually I don't think it's that deep, or I am of a different view? Please let me know in the comment section. I really look forward to having this discussion with you. Love hearing your feedback. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. May your day be colorful, and wonderful. And I will definitely see you in the next one.